today, our guest is a sleep sense consultant. Her name is Marijke, and she's joining us from South Africa. Hi, Marijke. How are you today?
Hi, Dana. So well, and yourself?
I'm doing well. It's bright and early here in Florida, and it looks like a beautiful day where you are.
Yes, 2 p.m. in South Africa. So I am from South Africa, and I'm Marijke Coetser. I'm a mom of two beautiful children, and I sleep trained little Layla when she was 10 months old. She's now 5 years old, and she still sleeps 10 to 12 hours every night. Woohoo!
Wonderful. Yeah, that's great. And how long have you been a sleep sense consultant?
Going on 4 years. This year is my fourth year.
Oh, wonderful. That's great. And what's your favorite thing about being a sleep consultant?
I think because it changed our lives, my marriage, my children, because I've got an older son as well, to spend time with the whole family, but still have quality, beautiful sleep. Now, becoming a sleep consultant is to help other families to create the same. And I think my favorite thing is when I do a consultation online or in person, I can see the parents are tired and I can see they look at me and they wonder, is this really going to work for me? 10 to 12 hours a night? I want to see this to believe it. And then once we do that and we have the breakthrough, just to celebrate that with the families, and they actually achieve 10 to 12 hours of beautiful consolidated nighttime sleep. And I think that's my favorite thing.
It is. It's great. You can even watch the transformation. In them, you see them tired and frustrated and depleted. And by the time you're done a plan with them, even in just a couple of weeks, they look different. Even they're happier. They look more rested. It's a great process to watch.
Absolutely, and to be part of that process and also to celebrate small milestones with the family, I think is important. So even the smallest little win is a big win for us.
Great, awesome. Well, today our question is, can you sleep train, or how do you sleep train if a child has illnesses or other concerns? So Marijke has a great story of a client she worked with. She's going to give us some background information on working with children who have other challenges. It's hard enough to sleep train babies when they're healthy and doing really well, but what do we do when there's added challenges? How do we navigate being mindful of those challenges, but also knowing that better quality sleep is going to help with, it helps with our immune system. It helps with across the board, our physical health, our mental health, our well-being. So tell us a little bit about the story of the client you worked with.
Okay, this is a little beautiful baby. Her name was Ella, and she was 18 months old. She was diagnosed at 18 months of age with a very rare cancer disease. So she received chemotherapy and cortisone therapy. So obviously it has a very big impact on her sleep. And by 18 months, the parents were just really tired. The mom reached out first. She really wanted to contact me and start the process, but the dad was quite hesitant. And anyone can understand that with an 18-month-old little toddler going through chemo, going through so much already, being hospitalized very regularly, now to bring another thing in, they just thought it's not going to work. So they did contact me. I was extremely excited. It was a very big challenge for me. I've never worked with a cancer patient, let alone little baby toddler. I did a home consultation. I was blessed they are in my area, so I went to the house. I did a home consultation. I sat with the little one, and my degree is also as a teacher, so I was able to look at her milestones, her developmental milestones, her sensory development. So I looked at more than just sleeping, so I could advise the parents also on sensory development and sensory play that also has an impact on sleep. I did the consultation with the parents. I gave them guidelines, and obviously we had to go a very gentle approach, which is also part of my mom heart. I do prefer the gentle approach, and with this little patient, we had to obviously do it gently. We can't add extra trauma and let her cry it out, for example. So I went through the basics and just creating beautiful new habits.
Just to
Yes, please.
give everybody a background on what was the situation, what was happening with her nights when they reached out to you. How bad was it?
It was really bad. Multiple night wakings. And she needed a feed, a bottle, to get back to sleep. And you can imagine if you start the night with a bottle, every hour she woke, she had to get the bottle again to fall back asleep. So that was one of the first things. We had just 3 goals, and I actually broke it down into small chapters. I always say, how do you eat an elephant? Small bites. And I didn't put her on the toddler program where we do the reward chart and all of that. I still had her on the baby program because with her developmental milestones, she was a little bit behind in those sense. So we had to just go gently and use the baby example. So multiple night wakings, not good naps during daytime. So a couple of things they did do wrong, for example, not closing the blinds with a daytime nap. Obviously, she couldn't fall asleep because she was so overstimulated. And with all the other symptoms she experienced with the cancer that she had, sleeping in very much bright daylight was also a challenge for her. So she couldn't rest, she couldn't calm down or just go into that beautiful restorative sleep. So small changes that I made was just looking at her daytime routine. She still had 2 naps. I put her onto 2 naps just to ensure we get enough daytime sleep so we have a beautiful night. So we had 2 daytime naps. And I asked the parents to remove all feeding from the room so we can break the association feed to sleep, which is what I would say was the biggest challenge for them, was the feed to sleep. So we removed that out of the bedroom. We fed when there was lovely daytime bright light after a nap in the living room or in the kitchen. And then we looked at a predictable bedtime routine, a short, predictable bedtime routine. I think overtiredness, we all know what overtiredness does to our cortisol levels. It just has this surge in energy, and she couldn't calm down or just start relaxing. So we did, I ensured we had a beautiful wake time window, checking on that, and a short bedtime routine. She had a little sibling also that's older than her, so we incorporated the whole family in the bedtime routine. It was a quick bath. We did the last feed of the day outside the room before bath time, so we didn't allow any feeding to go towards the bedroom to break that association. Now, looking back, the dad that was very skeptical, he said there's no way that this will work, and I just asked him to trust me. So we made small changes. I mean, small as just taking the feed out of the room, pushing bedtime earlier, accommodating her awake time window, having 2 beautiful naps a daytime, and putting her down lovingly with mommy being close by her, not lying down with her, but she had a chair right next to the bed. She was already in a bed, which was not ideal. I prefer them still being in a crib up until age 2.5, 3, because they're not emotionally ready before 2.5. She was already in a toddler bed. And I thought, let's just leave that. Let's just go. Let's not make too many changes. So mom was right next to the bed in her chair, and every 3 nights we just moved her gently away from the bed. But with all of these challenges we already faced, night 1, with small changes, she already slept through the night. And the dad thought, okay, this is just too good to be true. Maybe it's just
right.
our good luck for night 1. Night 2 came, slept through the night. Night 3 came. It's a couple of years later, that's 4 years later now, and she's clean of the cancer. But I also believe having good quality sleep, good long sleep, 10 to 12 hours of beautiful nighttime sleep, did make a difference in her health. And yeah, that's pretty much what I did.
Oh, wonderful. That's great. And so was there any preparations that you had to do? Did you talk about this with her doctor or her pediatrician or whoever was in charge of her treatment? Was there any concern on their part to start a sleep plan?
I think definitely I did this research. So I asked exactly what the cancer is called. It's a very rare cancer. So before our initial consultation, I had about a week just to do my own research, because when I work with a patient or a client that has any form of disability maybe, or any sickness or health, mental problems, whatever the case might be, I would like to do my own research just to prep myself. So I did some research on that cancer, and I had a conversation with the parents. I didn't speak to the pediatrician directly. The parents just informed me that they obviously advise no trauma and crying it out method, which is exactly what I don't do. I don't prefer the cry it out method, so we did go a gentle route. And just doing this whole thing gently, working with the parents and just checking in on them daily. And I still speak to them regularly just to see how things are going. So we actually formed this beautiful bond, and I'm still part of their lives, which is beautiful. So the research I did was my own research and working this with the family.
Yes. Okay, great. And so what changes did the parents notice? One of the things that's a nice perk about our job is that often parents think their children are doing great and they're happy and they're, meeting milestones and they're doing all these great things, even though they're not sleeping well. But often, once they start sleeping well, there's just an improvement in all the things, and parents will say, wow, I thought she was a happy baby before, but now she's even more content, and she's meeting her milestones faster, and all these good things kind of show up when kids are getting the sleep that they need to really thrive. So what kind of changes did the parents notice start showing up with her after she was sleeping well?
Definitely her diet, her eating habits increased, so she ate better because because we don't feed at night anymore, so many bottles every night. So all the calories was moved to daytime, which is ideally what we want for the brain to learn that daytime we eat, nighttime we sleep. So that was definitely an improvement, eating better and reducing the milk intake, because at that age, we don't want that much amount of milk anymore, rather solid food, good nutritional food that will be good for the brain and the body and the gut health. So she definitely ate better. Overall, her mood and just playing with her little sibling, she was overall a happier little one just by getting quality sleep. So that was a very big improvement for the whole family.
That's great. Yeah, that's the first thing I thought of when you were telling the story of what was going on with her, is that, oh my gosh, she must not eat very much during the day if she's having all of that milk.
Yeah, true.
And it's tough. I can imagine, as the parent, kind of feeling a bit stuck in that, right? Like knowing, probably knowing on some level that this isn't great that she's drinking all these bottles in the night, but it's the only way that she'll fall asleep. And so what are we to do? Not just with this case, but with a lot of the cases we work with, parents feel really trapped in what they're doing because they don't see how to get out of the situations that they've worked themselves into.
Absolutely. I think I always tell the families I work with, babies are not born with a manual. Now, add that to you not knowing exactly what you should do and shouldn't do. Now, add a very rare cancer disease to that in the mix. You just want to cope. You just want to keep your little one alive. And by giving them milk throughout the night means that at least getting something in, because I know it was difficult for her to eat as well, because the cancer already had an impact on the inside of her mouth, which was very difficult for her to eat. So it's a difficult situation to be in, because you want her to gain calories, but you can't eat that well. So there's definitely just moving all calories to daytime and less milk every now and then. It really made a difference. She was still using a pacifier. That's one thing I didn't remove immediately, and it is ideal to start removing the pacifier after 12 months. But again, I just guided the parents in a very gentle way, and I had this beautiful long journey with them just to help them to get to a place where they were able to say, thank you, we are okay on our own now, and just thank you for helping us. That's ultimately all that I want, a little healthy, I can say healthy, but a little baby that is sleeping well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's, I'm so happy that they reached out to you in the first place. I can imagine that there was already a lot on their plate. They were dealing with so much uncertainty, and I can imagine having a sick baby is very emotionally taxing for any family. It's just really great that the mom reached out in the first place. There must have been something she knew intuitively that better quality sleep would also help her daughter.
That's absolutely true. And I think with all the challenges they did face, not only was it the cortisone that they had to give her and the chemo, she also had to, I think it was about a year and a half, she was on constant antibiotics. And we know what that also does to our development. So to get proper quality sleep, just for our immune system to get recharged and to go into deep sleep for the body to grow, because growth hormones are primarily secreted during periods of deep sleep. So at least we got deep sleep, we got REM sleep, where she was able to improve her immune system, was a big win for us. And we saw the changes with that.
That's awesome. And so what would you say to parents who are listening that, have an added challenge, whether it's a physical disability or an illness or any kind of health concerns? what would you suggest they do if they're struggling also with sleep?
I think it is important to find someone that you can trust and that maybe is a mom comes with a mom heart, and just walk the journey with someone that understands and respects the boundaries and what they can and you can't do, that to ensure that the environment is safe and there's a gentle approach, that we're not forcing anything on the mom. And that's why I like working with parents individually for their circumstances, for their child's behavior, because each child is different. Now, with a sickness or a healthy little one, there are always challenges. So just finding someone that can walk this journey with you. And it is also trial and error. For all of us, it was trial and error. We had to test things and see it's not working, let's try this. But to be open to ask for help, I think, is an important thing. And what do you have to lose at the end of the day? If you can improve your child's sleep and their health by getting enough quality sleep, it's a win-win situation. You don't have anything to lose, so just give it a shot. But I think keep in mind that you're still the mom, you still call the shots, and if you are uncomfortable with anything, then you need to speak up and say, okay, stop, I'm not comfortable with a Ferber method or with whatever, and just, take it from there.
Yeah, that's great. That's good advice. Yes, I think, one of my sort of mantras is you don't just have to live with it. There's always a solution. And if you've, talked it through with the sleep consultant that you're thinking of hiring, and, they feel confident working a plan with you, you don't just have to suffer, I guess is my advice, that there is help, there is a way to get a baby to sleep well, regardless of the situation. And the bottom line is that good quality sleep improves all areas of our life. So you're right. What have you got to lose? It's worth it.
Absolutely. I think there's a misconception once you become a parent, your friends and family tell you for the next 2 years you're not going to sleep, it's normal, it's okay. And I think that is just absolute nonsense. We deserve sleep, our children deserve sleep, and sleep is a biological human right. That is what we all deserve, just to grow and to develop. So let's give our children and ourselves beautiful quality sleep.
I agree, 100%. Now you mentioned you had a follow-up with the family. You have a testimonial that you wanted to share from this family. Would you like to tell us more about that?
Yes, and she is clean from cancer. They made me part of this journey. I saw the video where she was able to ring the bell, and she's absolutely clean. And just to see that little face, because I received videos constantly when she did go for chemo. She had I can't remember what you call that, if they put for the chemo to go through, a stent.
Yeah.
A port, yes. So she didn't need that anymore, and she was clean. She rang the bell. She wore her little T-shirt, and I think she's 4.5 now, going on 5 years old, and she's clean, and she's just a beautiful, happy little toddler, which is just beautiful.
That's great. And what a happy ending to that story.
Absolutely.
Yes. All right. Well, tell everybody where they can learn more about your services and how to find you.
I am based in South Africa, but I am certified through Sleep Sense, which means I'm also internationally certified. So my website is mcsleepconsulting.com, and I do Zoom consultations with families all over the world, and I do home consultations in South Africa if you are 100 kilometers from Johannesburg. So that's how you can reach me, or on my Instagram or my Facebook page. Reach out and let's just do a call. Let's just talk, and then you can decide if you would like to work with me or not.
That's awesome. Well, great. Well, thank you so much for joining me today and sharing this beautiful story. I'm so happy that you were there and that you took on the challenge and that it had such wonderful results. So thank you for joining. Thanks everyone for watching, and have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, Dana.
Bye-bye.